So an American spy plane was trying to spy on China. I want to back up for a second. Imagine if a Chinese spy plane got near our airspace or any of our territories, was like near Guam or Puerto Rico, or even like the state of Hawaii. We have a lot of military bases on Guam, on obviously we have 5 bases just on the island of Oahu. Or something like that, or any of our bases. A Chinese spy plane was trying to fly over any of our bases. We have hundreds of bases all over the world. We would go absolutely nuts. So a US spy plane was trying to spy on China, and China's fighters intercepted it. So rather than like, the US got caught spying, this is CNN's version. CNN is trying to make it like the Chinese are acting aggressive towards your spy plane. I saw this on CNN.com. Oh, America.
Just information from U.S. Indo-Pacific Command. They say a Chinese fighter jet, J-16, on Friday intercepted a U.S. spy plane in international airspace over the South China Sea. They're calling it an unnecessarily aggressive maneuver as part of the intercept. Take a look here. This is from the cockpit of the U.S. aircraft, the RC-135. That Chinese fighter jet off to the right there as it cuts in front, essentially slices right in front of the U.S. aircraft at fairly close range. And that turbulence there, that is from wake turbulence off the back of that Chinese fighter jet. Again, the U.S. is calling this an aggressive maneuver, saying that it was essentially unsafe and unprofessional. We have seen intercepts like this sort of tension between Chinese fighter jets and U.S. aircraft before. In fact, there was one in December, a different type of Chinese fighter jet, but essentially the same situation. The U.S. said that their fighter jet came within 20 feet in that instance of the same U.S. aircraft, the RC-135 River Joint. The U.S.'s position is clear here. They insist they will continue to operate in a safe and professional maneuver anywhere essentially that international law allows. And therein lies the dispute. For the U.S., airspace over much of the South China Sea is international airspace over international waters. China, however, claims much of the South China Sea as its own territorial waters, and therefore believes that it is the U.S. invading on their territory, a position the U.S. does not recognize. It is, at this point, one in a number of elements or aspects adding tension to the relationship between Beijing and Washington at this point. We're seeing that play out in a different environment as well, Jake. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin in the Indo-Pacific for the Shangri-La dialogue. He was trying to set up a meeting with his Chinese counterpart, China rejecting that dialogue, Jake. So you see that tension playing out across different aspects of the relationship.
All right. Again, no mention of like, why was the U.S. there? Okay, so it's disputed. Imagine if China was just like flying in like, the Gulf of Mexico or something, just like, these are international waters. I mean, that's what we're doing. If China was like flying around Central America, what would we do? How would we react? So this is us provoking China, because they're not flying in our airspace, you'll notice. We're flying in theirs, right? So we're provoking them because we need to get to war with them because they are crushing us economically.